Hello everyone. Today's math lesson is lesson 10.1, time to the minute. Pages 561, 563. Essential question. How can you tell time to the nearest minute? Unlock the problem. Groundhog Day is February 2nd. People say that if a groundhog can see its shadow on that morning, winter will last another 6 weeks. The clock shows the time when the groundhog saw its shadow. What time was it? Underline the question. Question is, what time was it? Where will you look to find the time? We are going to look at the picture of the clock. Example. Look at the time on this clock face. What does the hour hand tell you? Well, if we look, we know the short hand is the hour hand, the long hand is the minute hand, so the short hand, the hour hand, is between 7 and 8 o'clock. What does the minute hand tell you? Well, we know that 7 would be up at the 12 and 7:30 would be at the 6, so we know it's after 7:30. In 1 minute, the minute hand moves from one mark to the next on a clock. It takes 5 minutes for the minute hand to move from one number to the next on a clock. So from one number to the next, it takes 5 minutes. You can count by fives to tell time to 5 minutes. Count 0 at the 12. So 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So the groundhog saw its shadow at 7:35. It's written like this, and you can read it 7:35 or 35 minutes after 7. Reason abstractly. How does skip counting by fives help you tell the time when the minute hand points to a number? Well, when the minute hand moves from one number to the next number, how many minutes have passed? From one number to the next number, 5 minutes. So, skip counting by fives around the clock is a quick way to tell time to 5 minutes. Is 7:35 a reasonable answer? Explain. Well, yes, we know that it's 7:35 because the hour hand is where? It's between the 7 and 8. And we know that it's after what? It's after 7:30. Okay. If you need to pause to write it down, feel free to do so now. We're going to move on to page 562. Time to the minute. Count by fives and ones to help you. One way. Find minutes after the hour. Look at the time on this clock face. What does the hour hand tell you? Well, we look. The hour hand's the shorthand. It's between 1 and 2 o'clock. Oops, 1 and 2 o'clock. What does the minute hand tell you? Well, it's after 1, but it's before 1:30, right? Count on by fives and ones from the 12 on the clock to where the minute hand is pointing. Write the missing counting numbers next to the clock. Let's do that. 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23. All right. When a clock shows 30 or fewer minutes after the hour, so 30 or fewer minutes after the hour, you can read the time as a number of minutes after the hour. So it is 1, it's after 1, so 1. We said 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23. 1:23. It reads 23 minutes after, what did we say? After 1 or 1:23. Another way. Find minutes before the hour. Look at the time on this clock face. What does the hour hand tell you? Well, the hour hand tells us it's between what? It's between 2 and 3 o'clock. What does the minute hand tell you? Well, here's 30. There's 2:30, so we know it's after 2:30. Now count by fives and ones from the 12 on the clock back to where the minute hand is pointing. Write the missing counting numbers next to the clock. When a clock shows 31 or more minutes after the hour, you can read the time as a number of minutes before the next hour. So when a clock shows 31 or after, you can read the time as before the next hour. So we'll count back. So 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. So it's 17 minutes before 3 o'clock. So 17 minutes before 3. But it is also 2. So 2, then we'll count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 41, 42, 43. 2:43. Error alert. Remember that time after the hour uses the previous hour. So time after the hour uses the previous hour. So it's 43 minutes after 2 o'clock. The time before the hour uses the next hour. So when you count back, you're going to say it's before the next hour. Moving on now to page 563. Share and show. How would you use counting and the minute hand to find the time shown on this clock? Well, we'll count by fives, and then we'll count by ones. To find the minute. So we know that it's between 1 and 2, so it's 1, let's count, 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 1:24. Write the time. Write one way you can read the time. Number 2. Well, let's see. It is between 2 and 3. It's almost 3, but it's between 2 and 3. So it's 2. Let's count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. 56. 2:56. Because it's after 30, we can count back, so we can say it's 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes before, it's almost what time? Before 3. Let's write that out. All right, number 3. Let's see, it's between the 6 and the 7, so it's 6. Let's count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. 6:17. Well, because it's before 30, we will say it's 5, 10, 15, 16, 17 minutes after 6. All right, here's an analog clock. So 10:45, so it's telling us it's 10:45. Well, let's count back. If it's telling us it's 10:45, we're going to count back by fives. So go from 11 and go back 5. So 5, 10, 15 gets us back to 45, so it's 15 minutes before, it's almost what time? Before 11. We should have written this out too, 17. There we go. Sorry, everyone. Okay. Math talk. Apply. How do you know when to stop counting by fives and start counting by ones when counting minutes after an hour? Well, we stop counting by fives and start counting by ones when the next, oops, 5 counted would pass the minute hand. Alright, on your own, write the time. Write one way you can read the time. Well, it tells us it's 3:12, so because it's before 30, we'll say it's 12 minutes after 3. Number 6, well, it's between the 10 and the 11, so it's 10. Let's count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 46, 47, 48. 10, 48. Okay, so then because it's after 30, we can count back. So it's 5, 10, 11, 12 minutes before 11. All right, number 7. Well, it's between the 6 and the 7, so it's 6, count by fives, 5, 10, 6, 10. Because it's before 30, we can say it's 5, 10 minutes after 6. Awesome. All right. Represent a problem. Write the time another way. If you have a clock at home and you want to pause and get it, you can. Otherwise, you can follow along with me. So if we have 34 minutes, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34 minutes after 5. It's another way we can write that. So it's after 30, so we can count back. So it is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26 minutes before 6. Or we can also say, because it's 34 minutes after 5, we can say that it is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 34. 5:34. 11 minutes before 6. So if it's almost 6, it's 11 minutes before, so 5, 10, 11 minutes before 6. It is actually between 5 and 6, so it is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 5:49. You can also use one of these clocks if you want to count by fives that way, if you don't have a clock like this. 22 minutes after 11. So it's after 11, 22 minutes, 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22. So it is 11:22. 5 minutes before 12. So it's almost 12. And it's 5 minutes before. So it is 11, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. Awesome job. Let's move on to page 564. Problem solving applications. Use the clocks for numbers 12 and 13. Number 12. How many minutes later in the day did the groundhog in Pennsylvania see its shadow than the groundhog in New York? Well, the groundhog in Pennsylvania saw it after the 5. The groundhog in New York saw it at the 5. So let's count how many passed the 5. 1, 2, 3. 3 minutes. What if the groundhog in Pennsylvania saw its shadow 5 minutes later? What time would this be? Okay, let's take a look. If the groundhog in Pennsylvania, here's Pennsylvania, 5 minutes later, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we know that this is 7:30. So 1, 2, 3, 7:33. If you look at your watch and the hour hand is between the 8 and the 9, and the minute hand is on the 11, what time is it? Okay, so the hour hand is between, the short one is the hour hand between the 8 and the 9, and then the minute hand is on the 11, so 5, 10, 11, it is between the 8 and the 9, so it's 8, 11. Did I read that problem wrong? The minute hand is on the 11. My apologies, everyone. Okay, between 8 and the 9, and the minute hand is on the 11. I thought it was 11 minutes. It's on the 11 on the clock. Okay, so it's between 8 and the 9, so it's 8. Let's count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. 8:55. Sorry, everyone. Number 15. What time is it when the hour hand and the minute hand are both pointing to the same number? Aiden says it's 6:30. Camilla says it's 12. Who is correct? Explain. Well, if it's 12, it looks like this. And if it's 6:30, it looks like this. Because the hour hand is then between the 6 and the 7 for 6:30, so they aren't pointed directly at the 6. So, who is correct? Camilla is correct. So when it is 6:30, the minute hand will be between 6 and 7. Verify the reasoning of others. Lucy said the time is 4:46 on her digital watch. Explain where the hands on an analog clock are pointing when it is 4:46. Well, it's after 4, so the hour hand will be between the 4 and 5. The minute hand will be pointing where? If it's 46, let's count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. One more. So one mark past the 9. Alright, and number 17. Write the time that is shown on the clock, then write the time another way. Alright, so it's between 9 and 10, so it's 9. Let's count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20. We can't go again, so by ones. 21, 22, 23. 9:23. Well, because it's before 30, we'll count and say after 9. So it is 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23 minutes after 9.